Hey guys, I'm Frances. I'm 20 and I didn't think I'd ever be so pumped. But life's funny that way. Muscle growth was in my future, but early in the fall, all I was worried about was whether or not Brennan was gonna ask me out. We lived across the hall from each other in these co-ed dorms, and he smiled at me almost every day. He was also cute and funny, and it was easy to fall for him. Living across the hall from each other let us play grown-up. But trouble arrived in the dorms when the hall director assigned these new student dorm officers, who started getting a little too pushy. This guy Reggie was in charge, and he thought he was king of the hill or something. They were all super buff and thought they could push others around. And then things really got out of hand when they started demanding food. I was helping Brennan study for this test he had, and I had baked a bunch of these mini cupcakes to motivate him. "Student security, open up! That smells like cupcakes." We opened the door, and it was that Reggie guy with the student security. He said he had to look around, and he and his muscled cronies pushed themselves into the room. When Reggie saw the cupcakes, he took about 4 off of Brennan's plate. He said it was a cupcake tax. Then he told us to stay out of trouble and walked out, pushing Brennan on his way. Brennan warned me not to get brazen. "It wasn't just us, though," I told him. He was tormenting everyone in the dorms and eating up everyone's food. Brennan said there was nothing anybody could do to stop Reggie from being a jerk, but I didn't want to give up, and I visited the residence hall director to make a complaint. The guy said he had never heard of such thing and then asked for evidence. It was then that I learned that Reggie was his nephew, and that's how he had gotten the position to begin with. Most of the residents just gave him and his cronies the food so they'd leave him alone. But one day he found Brennan at the food court, and he told him he had to pay a toll to buy him a burrito. When Brennan tried to leave, Reggie stuffed him in a trash can and told him that he'd better have a burrito the next time he saw him. I was telling Brennan that if we didn't stand up to Reggie now, it would just get worse. But he didn't think it was our job. Maybe he was scared, but not me. I was amped up because I'd been staying up late watching the WWE. My new hero was this awesome female wrestler named Arlene the Hammer, and she made these PAs where she encouraged people to say no to bullying. It fired me up and made me want to stand up to Reggie more. But maybe Brennan was right. Maybe there was a lot to be afraid of. But the Hammer's public announcement said that it's when we all fight against wrongdoing and bullying that we win. The Hammer wasn't the only one talking about bullying. Word of muscle ladies who united to fight bullying became local news. It was in the paper and on the student news feed. Security camera footage outside this football stadium showed this guy getting bullied. Well, out of nowhere, these super ladies came in to save the day, and those bullies got their comeuppance. Most of them got expelled, and these muscle ladies were sending a message to bullies everywhere. But Reggie hadn't gotten the message. One night there was a break-in, and a few TVs were taken from the residence. When we complained, Reggie claimed that he and his security team weren't able to do their job with such slim pickings from the fridge. And then he started giving us a list of food demands and said we'd better have it soon. I decided I had to track down the muscle ladies. I found Becky first. She was already campus famous for being this hockey champ, so she was easy to find. I asked her if the muscle ladies were looking for action. She told me to meet her and the other muscle lady, Meg, that night, and I dragged Brennan with me. They listened to our story and agreed that a food tax was out of control. And Meg thought the flyer was just rubbing our nose in it. The next Friday night, when Reggie and the boys went to take food from everyone, Meg and Becky were there. They were rubbing their knuckles and folding their arms, daring Reggie to try something. "What's going on in here?" he said. And Meg said they wanted to make sure everybody was staying safe. "Well, that's what we're here for," Reggie said, and got closer in her face. Behind him, the muscle boys moved in, and it was looking like we had ourselves a face-off. I guess Reggie had heard about the muscle ladies because he backed off. I was inspired by the way the muscle ladies commanded respect, and I was in awe of the Hammer on TV. Here were strong women who believed in themselves and acted with integrity and kindness to others. They were willing to risk themselves to help others. Real superheroes exist in this world. From that moment forward, I decided that I too was going to grow monster muscles. Wait a minute, you want to be a superhero? Brennan was confused and didn't think it would be easy for me to get buff. He said that he tried weight training once and it was too much work. And even if I did get huge, I could still get hurt. Pretty bold, he thought. I asked Meg and Becky about joining the muscle ladies, and they told me that if I wanted to do it, I had to prove myself. Brennan was listing a bunch of reasons why being a superhero wasn't wise. I told him that anybody can list reasons not to do something, but if you have a goal, nothing should get in your way. They say the key to following your goals is visualizing them. That way, you know what you're aiming for. Just like you can will your body into shape, you can will your dreams into reality. But it wasn't going to be easy. Brennan kept reminding me, and he was right. I switched my major to kinesiology and set myself onto a path of extreme muscle growth. I stuck to a rigid workout routine, and my diet was intense. The seasons changed, and so did my body. I decided I didn't want to wait around for an invite, and I would start working out with Becky and Meg, whether they invited me or not. When they saw me pumping iron alongside them in the gym, Becky was skeptical. And then later, when I was jogging, Meg didn't seem sure. But when they found me swimming at 5 a.m., they were impressed. Reggie saw me all muscled up, and I glared at him any chance I got. One day he got in my face about it, and I told him that he wasn't welcome around. And then I made an announcement that nobody was to feed him. I told him to find another dorm to torment, and Reggie told me to watch my back. I was getting a little big for my britches, but I wasn't gonna let him twist things around. And I started in on this speech that got everybody shook up. I said that if we wanted to get rid of Reggie, we would have to stand together, but it could be done. Reggie backed down again, and I knew that he was gonna get us at our weak points. I saw him eyeing some of the residents, including Brennan, and I started to worry that our defenses might weaken slowly. I was surprised when Brennan started going to the gym to work out, but apparently I had inspired him to shape up a bit. Early into his new workout routine, one day Reggie and his muscle bullies caught him alone, and they locked the door. They took his weights and tossed them across the room. And then they picked up a bench, and he was holding on for dear life. After he fell down, Reggie was dragging him to the floor, and then he noticed me, staring at them through the door. I pounded on it, screaming at them to let him go, but they just laughed at me. Not on my watch, and I yanked the door off its handle and barged into their little bully party. Hate to get heavy, I said. And then I informed them about some bullying statistics before I pummeled them into oblivion. Reggie tried to tackle me, but I flipped around and hung him upside down from the ceiling. While I made the other bullies repair the door, with everybody joining together, we got an investigation going, and they found the missing TVs in Reggie's room. He lost his student security gig and suspended him, to start with. The college local station picked up the story and released the security camera of my butt whooping. When Becky saw it, she had to admit I had earned my spot. Before she gave me a jersey, she told me that muscle justice was about being the best versions of ourselves, mind and body. She asked me what I learned. I learned it can be easy to give in to bullies, to look the other way, to avoid danger. But I also learned that fortune favors the bold. When you have the guts to put yourself out there for a benevolent good, it's almost as if the whole universe conspires and comes to your aid. In fact, I said, I had another bold idea. I suggested to Becky and Meg that together we open a training gym to grow more muscles and guide others to stand up to bullies everywhere. I wanted to call it Muscle Justice Gym. And they asked me where in the world we would find the money to open a gym. We might not have the money, I said, but I know someone who does. And then I told them my plan to pitch Muscle Justice to the famous Arlene the Hammer. I thought she might feel what we're doing and be willing to invest. Maybe even join. It's a brave move, but I'm going to try to get backstage to talk to her. Wish me luck! What bold moves have you made in your life? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.